by 25. Tossed away. He's in. What a comeback.
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. Today we are talking Cleveland Browns, not the Darren Rizzi Browns that he liked to talk about.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
that was funny, Max. That was good because he talked about taking a shit.
There you go.
After last
Boom.
game.
And it made Corey happy.
I like how
Speaking of taking a shit, I'm going to let you lead us off with the picks.
Get right into it, Corey. Let's go.
I didn't talk about taking a shit.
Yeah, but your standings say otherwise.
My standings are shitty. You did it again.
There you go.
Damn. Max is on fire, people. All the shit references. Yeah. So I'll take a stab at this. You know, the Saints are playing the Cleveland Browns in the Dome. It's nice to have another home game. This is going to be our
second of three in a row.
Second one. We had the bye after this one, right?
No, I believe the bye is after the next one.
Okay. Regardless, I think the biggest storyline in this one obviously is going to be.
You think we'll win that week? Should we give you a point for that?
The bye week? We're not going to lose.
Okay, well,
I give you that much.
Yeah.
That can be Corey's lock of the week.
I'm going to sneak in here and do a secret preview episode for the bye week.
There we go.
Just to get some extra points. I'm not going to pick.
Might not be a bad idea.
I'm not going to pick any MVPs. But anyway, we digress. Biggest storyline in this one's going to be Jameis Winston coming back into the Dome. He's, much beloved as a human. Very
Time out.
polarizing as a QB.
Hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but how did we get to the point where Jameis is beloved as a human being?
He is.
He's not that great of a human, but
Does no one remember like the Uber driver shit and all this other stuff?
No, he's had his things in the past, but the past year, 2 years, you can't deny.
to be fair, of the three of us, I thought you would be on that wagon the
Yeah,
most.
you're usually the one that is all about character and just
I think his recent past, unlike
fair.
older times,
But
or
he built
whatever
quite a resume.
He has a
He's
resume.
got quite a resume,
Look,
dude.
He has a resume, but this is until
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just think it's just funny as hell that no one remembers any of that.
No, we remember it, but until a certain date in January, this is still America, and
Statute
we
of
have
limitations, right?
Look, people deserve a chance to redeem themselves.
Absolutely.
And
I just think it's funny that
I think Jameis as a person has done that. You can't deny that when you watch videos of him, mostly of him speaking, he's my favorite term for it is the most unintentionally funny person ever. He's done these sit downs with the Barstool guys, which I'm kind of like hit or miss with them. Sometimes they piss me off, but sometimes they're funny. And when Jameis sits down with them, they're really funny interviews.
He is easily the funniest, the most unintentionally funny player in the NFL.
The interview with Amanda Balionis 2 weeks ago, where he just kept giving her the same line. Usually, people get so pissed when football players or coaches just thumb their nose up and just say the same thing, regardless of the question. But Jameis did it in a way where people were like, "Look at that guy! That's awesome!" It's just incredible. So that person's coming into the Dome, but it's the opposing team's quarterback. And in terms of him playing quarterback for us, except for that 5-2 start he had with Sean Payton, he was kind of, up and down. I think it's safe to say some people wanted him to come in to replace in place of Derek Carr. Some people wanted him to not be the starter when he was the starter. Children, do we need to have a talk?
No, we're listening. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just reading about the
crab legs, or what was it?
Well, no, I haven't even got to the crab legs. I was reading about the two federal lawsuits that were settled. FSU paid $950,000 in one of the cases.
Wow.
The crab legs, I do enjoy that one. I mean, who hasn't stolen crab legs?
Jameis has a past. He has a past. You can't deny that.
One was rape allegations. One was groping an Uber driver, right?
Yeah, just,
Look, but the city of New Orleans, it's no doubt.
Okay, fanboy.
Came to... I'm giving you some context on a preview episode. God forbid. Man's at second lines. Man's at the Zulu River thing. Last year, he wasn't even on the team anymore. He's doing Mardi Gras celebrations. I mean, come on. The guy's truly bought into the city, so people love that about him. But Jameis Winston, the quarterback, is who's coming into the Dome on Sunday. And so Look, if the defense plays like they did against the Falcons, I think we are in for a good day against a typical Jameis Winston performance.
He's getting worked up here.
He's excited.
You're coming at me for just trying to give a guy thank a guy for being a good dude.
Just didn't think you were going to go there. That's all.
I really didn't think you were going to go there. It was surprising.
Thought you'd just let that one lie a little bit.
We got to have some commentary on Jameis. Come on,
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Please proceed. Where were you?
You sure you want me to proceed, or you want?
No, go for it. Yeah. Go.
Anyway, so in terms of the Browns are a hard to predict team because they came in as one of the favorites, I think, or a team that was predicted to at least challenge some of the better teams in their division before the season. Obviously, them trying to make Deshaun Watson happen did not happen. Then he gets injured. Their defense has not really been as good as people thought they might be. Obviously, they of course still have Myles Garrett. They still have what's the name? The cornerback. I'm blanking on his name. Who's usually locked down?
Denzel Ward.
Yeah. So they've got players, but and then look, Nick Chubb's back. Okay, so we saw what Bijan Robinson did to us. We saw what even lesser talented running backs have done to us, and so there's a possibility that Chubb kind of hits his stride. And I don't think we're running away from this team offensively. I think what we talked about last episode about is this the best we think our offense can do in any given game, given the injuries we have wide receiver and the overall state of the offense. I think that's correct. So I don't think we're really going to be running away from the Browns to make them one-dimensional and having to pass it. So that said, I know we're favored by 2.5, but I do.
The line has been dropping, by the way, steadily. I think it's down to 1.
Is it down to 1 now?
Yeah.
Well, I do think
money's been coming in on Cleveland.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause people think they can steal a money line bet. I do think objectively we have what it takes to beat this team. I like that it's a home game. I think, look, I like what Ridgey's got going on. I like the changes that he's made to the defensive side of the ball in terms of coaching, personnel. And I think the more games that Derek Carr has back as a QB, the more he will improve.
Down to 1.5.
Yeah, down to 1.5.
Yeah.
But I like us to win this game. I don't think we blow the doors off. I'm going to call it a 21-20 victory by the Saints. And I think the Saints' offensive MVP in this one is going to be Alvin Kamara. I mean, there's only so many people we can choose from now.
No Valdez-Scantling?
MVS had his breakout game. If he had, look, I would love to see him have a repeat performance, but no, I'm going to go with AK and 2 touchdowns total, and I think he cracks the 100 mark again in total offense. And as far as a defensive MVP, it's a tough one. I'm going to go with DeMario.
Ooh.
He had 10 tackles last game. Give him, 8 or 9. I'm not going to hit it on the number. I don't know if he gets double digits again, but I think he seems to do well when he can sniff out these downhill running backs. And I think they're going to have a heavy dose of Nick Chubb, trying to get him back on track. And if it's not him, then DeMario is going to be in a good position to try to snag some balls over the middle from Jameis. So give me DeMario with at least 1 PBU, 1 tackle for loss, and about 8 or 9 tackles.
Okay. Nick, what you got?
All right. I think the game is going to come down whether you catch interceptions or not. He's going to throw you some.
He's going to put him where you can catch
This is where I'm going with it, too.
So, if you watched any of the Baltimore game, which he won, to his credit, they were down big, and he came back and kept slinging it. He threw them 2 interceptions on, I think, the last 3 drives, and they dropped both of them. And they ended up losing in the last 20 seconds. And that's a very good team. They hung in there. I think they were down double digits almost the whole game, but Baltimore couldn't finish off the game, and they left him in there, dropped a couple picks. Next thing you know, he's just throwing it all over the yard like he does, and it worked. And then he comes back against San Diego, and he just chucks it right to the Chargers all game, and 3 interceptions, and they get blown out by the Chargers. I don't know what the final score was, but it was a beatdown. So, that's the thing with Jameis. He can beat anybody, and he can lose to anybody. So...
Yeah.
I think it's a very difficult game to read just based on that. I think they're in much better health than we are still right now. The one thing I'll say about Chubb being back, he hasn't played great. So is it him having a difficult time coming back from that really bad injury? Is it their offensive line's taking a step back this year? Ford wasn't able to run very well behind it either before Chubb came back. I'm not so sure. Their receiving core is, we've seen Cedric Tillman have a couple really good games in a row now. Jerry Jeudy still kind of the same guy who's disappointed since he came into the league. Not a huge amount to worry about there. So I think whether Kool-Aid's available or not, I haven't read anything on that yet. It's we're recording early in the week.
Yeah, we probably won't know anything until game time, closer to it.
Yeah, as he, early in the week last week, they said he had a chance, I think, to play, and then he ended up, not playing. So hopefully he's back. If he's back, I think that gives us a much better chance. I agree with Corey. This is going to be a Kamara game. It has to be because we don't have a lot.
He honestly has to be the pick pretty much the rest of the season.
It's hard to pick other. I mean, maybe
you can't. It's impossible
without receivers. It's just hard to pick anyone in the receiving.
I tried to
game.
make Taysom happen last week, but
you almost did.
He almost could have. He almost could have had it. And I think if Carr has a game like he did last week, he's the MVP because of what he's using to put that game up. So that's going to be the only thing. If he's able to perform like that with this receivers, then he's the MVP of every game for me. But I just think that's a very tall ask for him to do that every week. It's poor skill positions right now. I have been a Jameis downer my whole life, so I'm going to bet on a bad game, and I'm going to do the same thing as Corey.
So you're saying Saints win?
20
AK?
23-20 with AK.
damn. It's not good for my standings.
I know. I can't bet on Jameis. It's one of those things in my life. So AK, I'm gonna say 120 total, 1 TD. I think he has over. I think it's going to be similar too because he's going to be a big part of the pass game. So I think we're talking at least 50 of that is going to be in the pass game if we're going to succeed. And then I'll take Honey Badger with a pick as MVP.
Alrighty, so I think we're all on the same page with this one. I think the Saints win. Basically, exactly what Nick said. Jameis, he can beat anyone, but he can also lose to anyone. And I feel like Jameis is going to come out and he's going to be pressing in this game, and he's going to be taking more chances than normal. I feel like he's going to want to show out in front of his old team.
That would be a lot of chances.
He is. He will take all the chances. I'm going to go ahead and say Saints win. Let's go 24-21. Anyone put it next score yet?
Nope.
No. Okay, 24-21 Saints. Defensive MVP, Alontae Taylor.
Okay.
To me, he is going to hold on to the interceptions this week.
It's kind of like he's due.
He's due. He is due. We don't know if Kool-Aid's going to play. I'm not. I don't. The Browns are bad. I don't think it really matters if Kool-Aid plays or not. The other guys have been doing pretty well. John Charles, Rico Payton, Ugo Amadi, all those guys. So this feels like the momentum is going to keep going. I feel like Rizzy, hopefully he picks a lane and sticks with it this time, whether he's going to be aggressive or he's not.
It'd be nice to not get into 4th and 1 situations.
It would be. So I'm going to go ahead and say Kamara, offensive MVP. Like we've covered, there's really nobody else you can pick at this point. We have no wide receivers. Now that we've all picked Kamara, it's going to end up being like Kevin Austin Jr. is going to come in and have 3 catches for 109 yards Valdez-Scantling did.
Which is fine, but you're just never going to predict it. I think the choices are Kamara, Taysom, or Carr. And honestly,
Taysom hasn't...
The Doesn't get enough touches.
He doesn't get enough touches.
He's
for whatever
turned into,
reason.
which is so weird because it was like first 2 games he was all everything everywhere, and then the next 2 games when he was out, it was like, well,
no, he had the 2 touchdowns in the first half against
against
the
Falcons. That's right.
And
No,
we haven't seen anything since.
And then when he was hurt, it was like, man, our offense sucks because we don't have Taysom. It's like, well, now
Yeah.
he's back, and we're
And they're not
using
using
him
him.
so situationally.
But
that,
it's because he keeps getting hurt. He just
Yeah,
can't take the.
he might not
can't
be-
Take
yeah.
the
So just to add a little more clarity to my picks, I'm going to go ahead and say Alante has an interception this week.
Okay.
At least 1, possibly 2. But I'm going to say he gets the 1.
He's right for a sack this week. Jim.
Kamara, I'm going to go ahead and say, because I do think he's going to be a huge part of the passing game as well as the running game and keeping the trends going on how he's performed. I'm going to go with 130 total yards. And let's go with 2 touchdowns.
Okay. So since we all picked Kamara, it's like Price is Right rules. Because I got over 100.
We're not going to go you don't
No.
get disqualified if you go over. I think it's whoever's closest.
I think it's Price is Right rules.
No, I think whoever's closest, regardless if you're over or not.
I'm not biased in this at all. Not because I'm the lowest or anything.
because
Just
you got to go first, and it's price of right rules, so you're biased.
well,
Exactly.
Sleep in
So
the bed you
let's
make,
go ahead
guys.
and make the ruling now. Whoever gets closest, whether it's above or below, on Kamara, gets it. I said 2 touchdowns. What did you say?
I vote for Price is Right rules.
What did you say?
I said over 100 yards. I'm talking about
No,
yards.
how many touchdowns did you say?
He said
I said
2.
2.
I
Total.
said
We
1.
got 2
2.
total.
I said 1.
Did Max specify rushing or receiving?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it matters because he took 1 touchdown, so it's not like we're breaking a 3-way tie.
So
if he would have taken 2 touchdowns, I think
If
we
it's
would
2
have get, we
touchdowns,
would
then-
get that granular and
then
say,
between you and me, it's Price is Right rules.
no, it's not Price's Right rules.
So let's let Nick break the tie since
It's whoever's closest
It's
because
between
that
two
would
of
be
us.
the most accurate.
that's what you want.
Yeah, because that would be the most accurate.
So what do you say, Nick? Because it can only apply if it's you and me, Todd. Since Nick won one touchdown. So what do you think, Nick? Closest or Price is Right?
No, that's lame if you do Prices Right. It's fucking lame. It's taking the, I went lower. That's got to be it.
I'm putting an option on the table.
Right, I'm telling you no.
I think you needed to disclose that beforehand.
I think it needs to be whoever's closest, whether it's above or below. Whoever's
Well,
closest should get
hopefully it's a bridge we can cross because that would be a good
That's
day.
fine. Corey, you're in good shape there too. Because if it's 108, you win. 108 and 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
you got it.
it. You should be fighting for the closer rules, honestly.
Well, clearly I'm not the best at this whole predictions game in general.
We are seeing this play out.
Yeah.
in
I
real
say
time.
closest because then
Closest.
you
Okay,
take the
there it is.
order.
That's all I was at.
Boom.
You take
That's
the
all I
order
wanted.
of picking out of the equation, so no one gets screwed by being.
Okay, look.
Do you
it only applies
shut
if
up
you,
with your
if
Prices
you and
Right
I are
stuff.
tied. Then
So Alante, I said what? 1 interception.
Yeah.
So
And everybody's different on defense, so we don't need to worry about a tiebreaker.
cool.
Okay.
sweet.
So we're only allowing one person to win the offensive MVP this week, is what we're saying.
I guess
That's essentially what you're saying. If we're going Price is Right rules, or just who's
it
closest.
only
rules.
came up because all 3 of us picked the same
So
guy.
do all
But
3 of us get it right if it's Kamara, or does the best person?
I think
get it
it's.
right?
I think we have to go to the closest.
Tie break.
Yeah.
We tie break it if we all pick the
If it's
same.
one touchdown,
New rule. I like this.
If it's
new
one,
rule.
if
can do
it's
that.
one,
I'm down
If all
to
3
do
of us
that.
pick the same guy, it
That's
really hasn't
fine.
happened.
I like it. That's
No,
good.
that's fair. That's fair.
First, the
whoever's
first,
closest.
First tiebreaker is touchdowns. If it's 1 versus 2, you get it. If it's 2, then it comes down to me and Max. Then it goes to closest yards.
Oh, we're going touchdowns as the number 1 and yards.
Well,
as
that's the
number
only differentiators.
I almost got it.
God
I,
damn.
he,
Is this what you do in court?
Differentiation. Differentiator. There we go. Got it. Yeah. Because what else, that's the one place we differ. So if it's 1 touchdown, you get it. If it's 2, we get it. Tiebreaker.
but we differ on yards as well.
Exactly.
So how do we? Let's.
It's easier because
I don't care what we pick. I'm just saying we should pick a path here.
because
on
touchdowns
how-
are a bigger deal.
So you're saying touchdowns?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, so touchdowns are the first tiebreaker, and then
Yeah.
yardage will be the second tiebreaker.
If
Correct.
if you
Got it.
two tie, then it goes
Yardage
to
is more
yardage.
granular.
Correct.
So yeah.
Okay.
And then
Done.
just to clarify, yardage is going to be whoever's closest.
Yeah. By Price is Right.
There you go. Boom.
So you have all the way up to 114 yards. Max has everything over 114 yards.
Fine.
Y'all tie if it's 115. So
You see the math there?
But we're gonna have to get decimals. Can they bring the chain out for his last run? That we should let them know.
if you tie, you both get it. That's not the worst thing. So
I don't like
let's do
ties.
it.
I remember when I tied in fantasy football a couple years ago and lost.
Well,
some
then,
stupid,
if
obscure
If y'all tie
tiebreaker.
and he has exactly 115 yards,
That'd be funny as hell.
that'd be the funniest shit ever. So
Yeah, it
let's
would.
just leave it at that.
We'd have to put a -1 on the standings.
Anyway, so I think now it's time to move on to everyone's favorite segment of the show, especially one Paul Celestri's favorite segment of the show.
Sponsored by the Norton Leatherman Spine Center.
I'm trying to think of what that would be.
Corey is laying out these locks.
Week,
he's got y'all 0-4.
We get to these predictions, and then there's something else that we...
if you go 0 for the season, we're going to give your house away to somebody, I think.
It's not me. It's that guy that does locks. I don't know where he
There
comes
we
from.
go.
But
well, why don't you bring that guy out?
It's called Corey's Locks. I don't...
Yeah, locks. I'm trying here. Like
okay, either way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Coming into the week, you're 0-4, Corey. So let's see.
We'll
Where
see.
you go.
Let's do it. One way or the other.
You're bouncing back.
Okay, I guess we'll do it. Okay, we're doing it live. Corey's Locks. Here we go.
That was shocking.
It was shocking, and you're going to be shocked, as always, when I hit a lock this week.
0-4. So
We're
this
flipping
is
the hat around. We're taking the glasses off. You can finally see my eyes when I do the locks.
Should we do a double lock?
You know who else has brand new eyes as of a few years ago? Jameis Winston. He got that LASIK. He's got unwavering faith, and he's throwing God balls on Sunday. So, but that's only part of my lock, because I wanted to make Jameis part of the lock, and because you have to. So he's giving us a ball. Jameis has given us a God ball, and we're going to pick one off. I have unwavering faith, to quote his term, that Jameis is going to throw one up to God, and we're going to catch it. So that's number one. The other one isn't so pretty, guys. We've had a problem with one particular position, no matter who we play, and that's the tight end position. And it ain't no joke that the Cleveland Browns have Joku as their tight end. So, yes, Jameis is going to give us a God ball, which is a good thing, but the bad news lock, this is the bad news lock, is that we're going to surrender at least 100 yards receiving to David Njoku on Sunday. We might still get the win. I predict us to get the win. But I can't look at an athletic tight end coming into this building and giving our history on it. I hope I'm wrong. But we're staring down 100 yards from David Njoku against our team. That's a lock. And, of course, an easy lock. God ball from Jameis, INT. Bless your heart, Jameis. Welcome home. Hope you don't have quite that successful of a time, but
yeah, I feel like we need
to
strike the first one from the record because that's too easy.
This is a little homage to Jameis. But your real lock, your good news lock,
it's just
to make everybody feel good.
Yeah, and Njoku's
the God ball.
We're going to strike the Jameis.
You're cramping on my lock, Max.
Yeah, it's a little
The first
too
was
easy.
just a comment.
Your real lock, your business lock, the bad news lock, folks, is we're surrendering 100 to David Njoku.
And that is the only lock that'll count towards the tally because the Jameis INT is a little bit too easy. That's some low-hanging fruit.
Hey, take advantage of what you can.
He kind of needs it.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone would be betting that anyway.
That's fine.
I don't think that can't.
I don't need
Give me
a
a
lock.
ruling here. That doesn't qualify, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Fine.
If you wouldn't have added to it, I would have let you.
The co-host has spoken.
You went too far.
Your Norton Leatherman lock of the week.
You could have taken the layup.
Officially. I could not have taken the layup. Y'all would have said that was a weak lock. But your Norton Leatherman.
It's too much of a layup.
Real business lock. Bad news lock of the week is 100 yards surrendered to David Njoku. So, with that, I'll turn it over to these here rule setters.
There we go. We like our rules here. So,
Apparently.
with that lock, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode. I think you need your sunglasses for the real locks.
Am I scaring people with the eyes? Is it the
You're
eyes?
scaring me. But
We're all on the Saints this week, so hopefully we get 2 in a row. Hopefully, not hopefully. I don't know if it's better or worse for us as a franchise, but all 3 of us are in agreement. So
that is still to be debated. I think we'll have that debate a lot over the next few months.
Yeah.
But
Saints in a close one.
With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you for listening to the 28-3 podcast. Who dat?
Who dat?